The time of town meeting having come and a quorum being present, I declare this town meeting to be open. Thank you. So, as always, if you could please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. And I don't know if you've noticed the background here, but I'd like to welcome you to the SS Hanson. Instead of the yeas and nays, we'll have the R's and the nays. But it's a good moment to point out that the Hanson Middle School drama will be presenting the Fearsome Pirate Frank Friday, May 8th at 7 p.m. and Saturday, May 9th at 2 p.m. and 7 p.m. So I'm sure it's going to be a lot of entertainment. I just want to point out I have a cannon up here and I'm not afraid to use it. I would, but no. Another announcement. Many of you are aware, but we have an election coming up Saturday, May 16th. It'll be right here. From what time, Madam Clerk? 10 to 5. So look forward to seeing all of you here to vote. Another announcement, all visitors, if you could please seat yourself in the visitor section over here, just so that it makes it a little easier for us to tally votes if that is necessary. We have lost several town members since we last met. And we'd just like to remember them at this time. Joseph Westfield, Alfred Cantos, Gerard LeBlanc, Doris Matthews, Don Ellis, Fred Cafardo, and John Curie. And they were all very active in the town, our neighbors, and they contributed quite a bit to Hanson during their lives. And so if we could just have a moment of silence for them. Thank you very much. As far as the rules for tonight's town meeting, the rules will be from town meeting time, which is the parliamentary handbook for the Massachusetts Moderators Association. We're rocking the 4th edition tonight, so please follow along with your copy if you so desire. And under the rules, one of the things that I always start with the town meeting is to make a motion to allow me, the moderator, to declare the quantum of vote. That is, some of the votes that we're going to take tonight require by law a 9/10 vote or a 3/4 vote rather than a simple majority. By allowing this, I make a declaration that 9/10 or 3/4 have been met, or 2/3 rather, not 3/4. 2/3 have been met. If anybody wishes to challenge that, that's fine. Just make an objection, stand up, let me know, and we'll proceed to a hand count and we'll do it that way. And so therefore I would make a motion to allow, oh, I'm sorry. Oh, you seconded it. So the motion is made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it. The motion is carried. Thank you very much. And another thing that we have to get through is how much money do we have in the various accounts? And the answer is not enough. So here are the balances to begin with for the night. The ambulance receipts reserved has $1,411,474.14. Stabilization has $1,785,000 $547.69. School stabilization has $31,313.15. Free cash has $2,245,136.05. Now, and Camp Kiwanis retained earnings tonight stand at $117,770.39. Now, just to let you know, if everything passes the way that it has been set up for our votes, these are the figures we'll have. In ambulance receipts, $1,371,474.14. In stabilization, we'll have the exact same amount, $1,785,547.69. School stabilization will have $14,913.15. And free cash will have $395.89. And from that rumble, you agree with me, that is not a lot of money. And so it's something that I announced at the select board's meeting last week was that we have absolutely no cushion. So as I announced at that time, I'm going to rule any motion or amendment that would raise a number as out of order, simply because it's going to be impossible to try and figure out where that money is going to come from. So if you disagree with the way things have been funded and would like to see it changed, I would suggest talking to the Finance Committee and the Select Board. But tonight, it would just be too difficult to try and accomplish increases. We have a few decreases, which fortunately will give us a little bit more of a cushion. Before we get going with the articles, I just wanted to have the two boards introduce themselves. To my left is the Finance Committee, which I appoint, and to my right is the Select Board, who are elected by the townspeople. So could you guys just introduce yourselves, please?
Kevin Sullivan, Chairman of the Finance Committee.
Steve Amico, member of the Finance Committee.
Aaron Barr.
Pepper Santalucia. Laura?
Laura Fitzgerald Kemet. Ann Rain.
Ed Heel. Joe Weeks.
David George.
Terrific. And I always forget to introduce myself. I'm Sean Keeley. I'm the moderator, and I'm elected by the townspeople as well. Behind me, we have a couple of officials from the town. We have our town accountant, we have our town council, and our town administrator, and you will almost certainly hear from one or all of them tonight before we're done. So with that, I will briefly adjourn the town meeting and open the special town meeting. And we will start with Article 1. I move the town vote to transfer from free cash $656.16 to pay unpaid bills from the prior fiscal year as printed in the informational warrant. Seconded. These funds are needed to pay for the prior year's bills received after the close of the fiscal year, and I would point out that this requires a 9/10 majority vote. Do we have any questions or comments on Article 1? Seeing none, all those in favor of Article 1 signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it by the required 9/10 vote. Article 2. I move the town vote to transfer from free cash $58,000 to cover the additional expenses related to snow and ice removal.
200.
Oh, I'm sorry. I crossed out the number and I missed the 2. I'm sorry about that. Let me say the motion again. I move the town vote to transfer from free cash $258,000 to cover the additional expenses related to snow and ice removal. Seconded, The explanation, the Highway Department has exceeded the snow and ice budget due to multiple winter storms requiring icy road treatments and snow removal. These funds will be used to reconcile for the deficit spending for snow and ice for fiscal year 2026. Any questions or comments? Oh, and please, if you have a question or a comment, please come to the microphone and introduce yourself and by saying your name and your address.
Hi, William Keogh, Almond Trail. I just want to clarify, you said 200 some odd thousand, but the warrant says 620,000.
Yes.
Can you just clarify that that's the correct amount?
Yeah, I'll recognize Kevin Sullivan for the explanation.
The original amount needed was 620,000. We found some budgetary line items from previous years that hadn't been closed out. We were able to use those funds to close the gap, so that the number now is 258,000.
And I tell you, I'm always amazed at how hard our town accountant, our town administrator, and these two boards worked to close these gaps because it was significant. So we have a motion, it's been seconded. Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor of Article 2 signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Article 2 is adopted. Article 3. I move the town vote to transfer from ambulance receipts $10,000 to fund the overtime costs of filling shifts to maintain 4 firefighters on duty for initial calls or take any action in relation thereto. Do I have a second? Second. Thank you. And again, the number is different because it was a last-minute alteration by the fire chief who asked that the number be $10,000 instead of $40,000. The explanation, these funds are being requested to cover the overtime costs. This fiscal year, the department's budget was cut by over $10,000. This cut was taken from the overtime line. So, all those any questions or comments? Seeing none. All those in favor of Article 3 signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Article 3 is passed. Article 4. I move the town vote to transfer from schools capital stabilization fund $16,400 to fund the replacement and install of 4 skylights at the Hanson Middle School. Seconded. These funds are requested to replace 4 leaking skylights at Hanson Middle School, which includes using the existing curbs and to repair any flashing for airtight connections. After failed attempts to prevent leaking, there was a need for a permanent solution to protect ceiling damage. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor of Article 4 signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Article 4 is adopted. And with that, I will close the special town meeting and reopen the annual town meeting. Article 1. I move the town vote to hear reports of the various town officers, committees, special committees, and act thereon. Seconded. The reports voted on are those published in the 2025 town report. Makes for good reading. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Article 1 is adopted. Article 2. I move the town vote to authorize the treasurer-collector to enter into compensating balance agreements during fiscal year 2027 as permitted by Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 44, Section 53F. Seconded, every year this article is voted, it simply allows the treasurer-collector to maintain accounts using credits instead of money to pay for banking charges. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor of Article 2 signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Article 2 is adopted. Article 3. I move the town vote to fix the salary and compensation of all paid elected officers and committees as printed in the informational warrant. And this is for fiscal year 2026, the town clerk, and fiscal 27. Seconded, this article sets the salaries for the elected officials, of which there are one, who gets paid. Article 4 funds the salaries. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor of Article 3 signify by saying aye. All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Article 3 is adopted. Article 4, I move the town vote to determine what sums of money the town will raise and appropriate by taxation, transfer from free cash, transfer from town ambulance funds, water department revenue, water surplus, Title V special revenue fund, MWPAT loan repayments, receipt reserved for appropriation, conservation notice of intent fund, overlay surplus, and fund balance reserved for reduction of future excluded debt to defray charges and expenses of the town, including debt and interest, and to provide for a reserve fund for fiscal year 2027 as printed in the informational warrant. Seconded. This article refers to the fiscal year 2027 annual budget lines as presented in the informational warrant. So, as I always do, what I will do is I will read off each line number. And if anybody would like to hold and discuss that line further, please yell out, hold. Make sure I can hear you, okay? And then what we'll do is we'll go through all the lines, we'll come back to the ones that were held, and then everybody can discuss, and we will vote on them at that time. So I will pause after each line. Line 1, accepted. Line 2, accepted. Line 3, accepted. Line 4, accepted. Line 5, accepted. Line 6, accepted. Oh, and I forgot to mention, and I don't think this will change anything, but before I go any further, what we're looking at is the column of Finance Committee recommends. That's what we vote on at our town meeting. Line 7, accepted. Line 8, accepted. Line 9, accepted. Line 10, accepted. Line 11, accepted. Line 12, accepted. Oh, pardon me? Line 12, accepted. Line 13, accepted. Line 14, accepted. Line 15, accepted. Line 16, accepted. Line 17, accepted. Line 18, accepted. Line 19, accepted. Line 20, accepted. Line 21, accepted. Line 22, accepted. Line 23, accepted. Line 24, accepted. Line 25, accepted. Line 26, accepted. Line 27, accepted. Line 28, accepted. Line 29, accepted. Line 30. Line 30 is held. Line 31, accepted. Line 32, accepted. Line 33, accepted. Line 34, accepted. Line 35, Accepted. Line 36. Accepted. Line 37. Accepted. Line 38. Accepted. Line 39. Accepted. Line 40. Accepted. Line 41. Accepted. Line 42. Accepted. Line 43. Accepted. Line 44. Accepted. Line 45. Accepted. Line 46. Accepted. Line 47. Accepted. Line 48. Accepted. Line 49. Accepted. Line 50. Accepted. Line 51. Accepted. Line 52. Accepted. Line 53. Accepted. Line 54. Accepted. Line 55. Accepted. Line 56. Accepted. Line 57. Accepted. Line 58. Line 58 is held. Line 59. Accepted. Line 60. Accepted. Line 61. Accepted. Line 62. Accepted. Line 63. Accepted. Line 64. Accepted. Line 65. Accepted. Line 66. Accepted. Line 67. Accepted. Line 68. Accepted. Line 69. Line 69 is held. Line 70. Line 70 is held. Line 71. Accepted. Line 72. Accepted. Line 73. Accepted. Line 74. Accepted. Line 75. Accepted. Line 76. Accepted. Line 77. Accepted. Line 78. Accepted. Line 80. Accepted. Line 81. Accepted. Line 82. Accepted. Line 83. Accepted. Line 84. Accepted. Line 85. Accepted. Line 86. Accepted. Line 87. Accepted. Line 88. Accepted. Line 89. Accepted. Line 90. Accepted. Line 91. Accepted. Line 92. Accepted. Line 93. Accepted. All right. So, beginning with the earliest number, which is line 30. Any questions or comments on line 30? Please come to the microphone.
Hi, Dave Bobet, Home Street. My only comment on that particular budget line is that if we are serious about growing the commercial tax base in this town, we need to find some resources or some directed effort to publicize the town, its zoning capability and all of that. And $1,500 is not going to buy much in the way of an advertising campaign or anything like that to accomplish that sort of work.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? All those in favor of line 30 signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Line 30 is accepted. Next, we have line 58. And with line 58, we have an amendment that has been offered by Thomas Rofi Jr., and he moves to amend the motion as follows: to revise line 58, Whitman Hanson Regional School District Transportation, to $53,810.36. Mr. Rofi.
P.J. Rofi, County Road Vice Chair of the Whitman Hanson Regional School Committee. After some further digging into the number of mandated versus non-mandated bus riders, some of the costs were shifted to the state, so it's a little over $500 that we don't have to fund.
Do I have a second on the amendment? Seconded on the amendment. Any other questions or comments on the amendment? Seeing none. All those in favor of the amending line 58 signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Line 58 is amended. Need a second vote on that, right?
No, when you do the final budget, it's going to be as amended.
Thank you. That's all for line 58. We had line 69 held. Any questions or comments?
Michael Jones, 428 Elm Street.
Just curious from the Board of Health, what is the explanation of the $30,000 increase?
Do we have anybody from the board to speak? Oh, yeah. Oh, no, I think Gil, Mr. Amato is going to speak to that. Mr. Amato?
Okay, we have salaries. The salaries is health agent full-time, administrator full-time, part-time animal inspector. And what was the other question now?
What was the reason for the increase that's larger than any other increase that
Due to a lot of things that have come, we got a lot of things happening in town. And part of the expenses are like rabies testing. And we have rabies testing. We had 2 encounters last year, rabies testing.
So rabies is cost of $30,000 increase, or just curious what's in the...
Oh, no, I'm sorry, Mr. Jones. I think you may be looking at the wrong column. The fiscal 2026.
Salaries, but he's mentioning rabies increase.
Right, but the increase from 2026 to this year is less than $4,000.
What is the increase?
The increase is from $130,994. Oh, yes.
Teresa Cosio, Whitman Street. So the difference between the two was the 110 was back when they cut hours at the Board of Health.
Okay.
So the increase is really only 4,000. It's, I think, a 2% increase for salaries. Does that make sense?
That's the increase.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much.
Any other questions or comments?
Yeah. Yes, I'm just curious what he was mentioning about the rabies increase.
Do we have an answer about what?
He just mentioned that there's rabies increase. I'm just curious.
Sure. Mr. D'Amato.
That was part of the increase in expenses. We have to test it.
And that's the next
We're talking
line.
salaries on that.
All right?
Yes.
We're on line item 69, we're talking about salaries.
Right.
Okay.
And rabies comes under expenses. So let's dispense, let's dispense with salaries first. All those in favor of line 69 signify by saying aye. All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Line 69 is accepted. Line 70, the question is about the increase of expenses due to rabies.
Well, that's part of the increase. First they know when a wild animal comes in contact with a domestic animal or human being, that animal has to be euthanized and tested. So that's part of the expenses. It's euthanized. The head is taken laboratory tests for babies. That comes to a total of $1,000, $800. So two encounters are going to be almost $2,000. And other things, the mileage we submitted, we put the mileage back into the budget.
I'm sorry, I can't understand.
Put the mileage I've used my personal vehicle and putting that mileage back into the budget. It was cut last year. So we're putting it back to where it was in the previous budget. Okay. Medical expense, personal protective equipment, hospital grade clothing, things in the field, when I use it as to do my job, things that are required. And these are all expensive, that we're trying to, get up to speed. The main thing is the encounter of the animals and, dogs and stuff like that. So that's satisfactory.
No, I actually totally disagree, but $11,000 for rabies, I don't understand.
No, that's not, this is the whole
That's what
thing.
you had mentioned before, so.
Right, it's part of the expense.
Well, I don't understand why you're driving your own vehicle.
One at a time.
If-
Mr.
Through
Jones.
you, moderator, I don't understand why he's driving his own personal vehicle for a rabies call. Just to me,
No, that's-
I personally don't understand. I see him in a Hanson vehicle. I just don't understand why we're paying him or anyone to be on a rabies call for $11,000. Seems extremely expensive. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yes, could you please just introduce yourself?
Yes, Teresa Cosio, Whitman Street, on the admin for the Board of Health. So one of the largest, we increased the budget because South Shore Recycling offers hazardous waste days to residents. That budget has been cut consistently. It used to be $10,000. I think this year for fiscal '26 was $3,000, which says that we can't offer hazardous waste day to all of you. There's just not enough money. We're increasing that line substantially so that we can have residents go to hazardous waste days. That is the biggest increase.
Thank you. Any other questions or concerns? Seeing none, all those in favor of line 70 signify by saying aye. All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Line 70 is accepted. And that is all of the holds, unless I missed one. I'm pretty sure I got them all. Okay, so Article 4, as amended, has been moved and seconded. Any questions or concerns about the entire budget before we move to a vote? Seeing none, all those in favor of Article 4 signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. Article 4 is adopted. Article 5. I move the town vote to raise and appropriate an additional $630,000 from taxation to fund additional firefighter paramedic positions for the Hanson Fire Department and additional police officers for the Hanson Police Department beginning fiscal year 2027, provided, however, that the amount raised and appropriated hereunder shall be expressly contingent upon approval by the voters at an election of a so-called 2.5 override question in accordance with the provisions of Chapter 59, Section 21C(G) of the general laws. Seconded. This article refers to the fiscal year 2027 annual budget lines that will be increased if a Town of Hanson Fire Department and Police Department operational budget override is passed at the May 2026 annual town meeting election. The override breakdown equals $380,000 to hire 4 additional firefighter paramedics for the Hanson Fire Department and $250,000 to hire 2 additional police officers for the Hanson Police Department. Any questions or concerns? Seeing none, all those in favor of Article 5 signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Article 5 is adopted. Article 6. I move the town vote to amend the wage and personnel bylaws, Article 2-12, classification and compensation by deleting sections 11A through 11E in their entirety and inserting the new sections 11A to 11E as printed in the informational warrant. Seconded. The changes to the compensation plan are in bold italicized text. The changes include the creation of a part-time Veterans Benefit Administrator position and rename the Town Planner position to Town Planner and Director of Land Use. Any questions or concerns? Seeing none, all those in favor of Article 6 signify by saying aye. All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Article 6 is adopted. Article 7. I move the town vote to adopt the capital improvement matrix as presented by the Capital Improvement Committee as shown in the informational warrant. Seconded. This is the annual article which approves the capital improvement matrix for the next fiscal year. Any questions or concerns? Seeing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye. All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Article 7 is adopted. Article 8. I move to pass over Article 8. Seconded. All those in favor of passing over Article 8 signify by saying aye. All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Article 8 is passed over. Article 9. I move the town vote to see if the town will vote to set the spending limits of the following revolving accounts in accordance with Hanson General Bylaw, Article 2-9, Section 3, as follows. Assessors, $1,500. Parks and Fields, $10,000. Library, $7,000. Council on Aging Programs, $2,500. Council on Aging Fees, $95,000. Conservation Commission, $7,500. Nathaniel Thomas Mill, $1,500. Seconded. This article sets the spending limits for the annual revolving accounts. Any questions or comments? Seeing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye. All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Article 9 is adopted. Article 10. I move the town vote to raise and appropriate the following sums of money to operate Camp Kewanee during fiscal year 2027 under the provisions of Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 44, Section 53F and a half, as printed in the informational warrant. We have a second. The budget is comprised of anticipated revenues, program receipts, mostly from program receipts. This budget represents that which is necessary to run and operate Camp Kewanee and Cranberry Cove for fiscal year 2027. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor of Article 10 signify by saying aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. Article 10 is adopted. Article 11. I move the town vote to raise and appropriate the following sums of money to operate the water department during fiscal year 2027 as printed in the informational warrant, with a note of a Scrivener error in the estimated revenues, user fees, and total budget revenue lines, which should both read $1,951,774. Seconded. This budget is comprised of anticipated revenues, program receipts. This budget represents that which is necessary to run and operate the water department for fiscal year 2027. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor of Article 11 signify by saying aye. All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Article 11 is adopted. Article 12. I move the town vote to adopt General Laws 50. I'll start again. I move the town vote to adopt General Laws Chapter 59, Section 5, Clause 22J, which authorizes an annual increase in the amount of the exemption granted under General Laws Chapter 59, Section 5, Clause 22, Clause 22A, Clause 22B, Clause 22C, Clause 22E, and Clause 22F by 50% of the personal exemption amount, subject to the conditions in Clause 22J, to be effective for the applicable exemptions granted for any fiscal year beginning on or after July 1st, 2026. The application of the of Clause 22J, additional exemption, cannot reduce the tax owed below what the taxpayer would owe on 10% of the current assessed valuation of the domicile. The voted percentage will continue to apply in subsequent years until and unless another percentage is voted before July 1, beginning of a later fiscal year. Whew. And I used to do tax policy. I still don't understand that. But here, I'm going to give an explanation in a second. Do we have a second? Explanation. This article would allow for various veterans' property tax exemptions to be increased by 50%. Exemption eligibility is determined annually for all exemptions. This cost is paid for through the overlay account, which is set aside for abatements and exemptions. The overlay is managed by the Board of Assessors. The application of the Clause 22J additional exemption cannot reduce the tax owed below what the taxpayer would owe on 10% of the current assessed valuation of the domicile. The voted percentage will continue to apply in subsequent years unless and until another percentage is voted before the July 1st of the beginning of a later fiscal year. So, any questions or concerns? Seeing none, all those in favor of Article 12 signify by saying aye. All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Article 12 is adopted. Article 13, this one's shorter, thank God. I move the town vote to increase the amount of funding for STAP, the Senior Tax Abatement Program, and the Veterans Work-Off Program by $20,000 under the provision of Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 59, Section 5K and Section 5N, or take other action in relation thereto. Seconded. Explanation. The May 2003 special town meeting accepted General Laws Chapter 59, Section 5K, which provides residents over 60 years of age to volunteer their services to the municipality in exchange for a reduction of their tax bills. The May 2019 annual town meeting accepted Chapter 59, Section 5N, which provided veterans to volunteer their services to the municipality in exchange for a reduction in their tax bill. The program has a total of 40 positions, 30 for seniors and 10 for veterans. This would increase the hourly rate to meet the current Commonwealth minimum wage of $15 per hour. Seniors and veterans may earn a maximum reduction of $1,500 per fiscal year. The Board of Assessors recommends increasing the amount of funding to $60,000. These funds would be paid from the overlay account. Any questions or concerns? Seeing none, all those in favor of Article 13 signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Article 13 is adopted. 14 I got to talk about. Okay. Article 14. I move the town vote to transfer from free cash $9,950 to seal coat and reline town hall parking lots. Seconded. This article will help maintain the parking lot at Town Hall, extend the lifespan, and protect from additional potholes and cracks. A new parking lot would be over $100,000. So, any questions or concerns? Mr. Sullivan.
Yes, just to let you know, this cannot be passed. We do not have the money to pass this, so please do not vote to pass this right now.
Any other questions or concerns? Okay, Ms. Kemet, do you have a motion?
I'd like to make a motion to pass over.
Ms. Kemet makes a motion to pass over Article 14. Do I have a second? Seconded. All the... Oh.
It's a substitute motion, so you're going to have to first do a motion to substitute. And pass that by a majority, and then a motion to pass over. You've already made the motion and the second.
Can we just vote?
We're going to be procedural.
I could withdraw my motion.
Well, then withdraw.
Yeah. Okay. If you could come to the microphone, I've got to say something actually. Pardon me? I'm going to withdraw my motion for Article 14. which had been seconded. Ms. Kemet has a motion to pass over Article 14. Do I have a second? Second. All those in favor of passing over Article 14 signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Article 14 is passed over. Article 15. I move the town vote to transfer the sum of $6,700 from free cash. Oh,
This one's going to be passed over too.
okay.
I make a motion.
Ms. Kemet makes a motion to pass over Article 15. Do I have a second? Seconded. All those, any questions or concerns before we pass it over? Seeing none, all those in favor of passing over Article 15 signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Article 15 is passed over. Same here?
This one's okay.
Okay. Article 16. I move the town vote to transfer from free cash $9,623.00 to have the town hall to replace its sprinkler heads. Seconded. The fire suppression sprinkler heads in town hall are no longer in compliance with the current Massachusetts Fire Code and the National Fire Protection Association standards and need to be replaced to come into compliance. Any questions or concerns? Seeing none, all those in favor of Article 16 signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Article 16 is adopted. I move that town meeting pass over Article 17. Do I have a second? Seconded. All those in favor of passing over Article 17 signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Article 17 is passed over. Article 18, I move the town vote to transfer $10,000 from the ambulance account to pay for ambulance billing. Seconded. These funds will be used to pay Comstar, our ambulance billing company. Any questions or concerns? Seeing none, all those in favor of Article 18 signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Article 18 is adopted. Article 19. I move the town appropriate $705,000 to be borrowed and $395,000 to be transferred from Article 9 of the October 2023 special town meeting, totaling $1,100,000 for the purchasing and equipping of a new fire engine for the fire department, including all costs incidental and related thereto. And further, to authorize the treasurer to borrow, with the approval of the select board, the sum of $705,000 pursuant to the provisions of Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 44, Section 7, or any other enabling authority, and to issue any bonds or notes therefor. And further, to authorize the fire chief and the select board to take any and all action necessary or convenient to effectuate this vote. Seconded. This article is to replace a 1995 fire truck. Engine 3 is utilized often both in and out of town and is 30 years old. The build time for a new engine is approximately 24 to 36 months. This engine will also carry medical equipment and heavy rescue tools. And I would point out that this article requires a 2/3 majority vote. Any questions or concerns? Seeing none, all those in favor of Article 19 signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it by the required 2/3 majority vote. Article 20, I move the town vote to transfer from free cash $16,461 for the installation of a new 2-ton Mitsubishi chiller unit for the server rooms. Seconded. The existing chiller unit is responsible for maintaining the optimal temperature in the server rooms and is beyond its useful life of 5 years. The current unit is no longer supported by Mitsubishi. A new unit is required to maintain a necessarily cool environment to prevent overheating of the equipment. Questions or concerns? Seeing none, all those in favor of Article 20 signify by saying aye. All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Article 20 is adopted. Article 21, I move the town vote to transfer $230,000 from the water enterprise receipts for 2 new vehicles for the water department. Seconded. The water department needs to replace a 2017 Ford F-550 and a 2017 utility truck. The wear and tear on these vehicles are getting costly to repair. Any questions or concerns? Seeing none, all those in favor of Article 21 signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. In the opinion of the chair, the ayes have it. Would anybody like to go to a hand count? Seeing none. Article 20 is adopted. I'm sorry, Article 21 is adopted. Article 22. I move the town vote to transfer $75,000 from the water enterprise receipts to upgrade the water department supervisory control and data acquisition system, SCADA. Seconded. Our current SCADA system needs to be upgraded. This article will provide a new computer and all the hardware and software. The SCADA system allows the water department operators full access, control, and monitoring of the water system, pump station, and chemical distribution 24-hour per day remotely from laptops and able to answer any alarms that may occur. Any questions or concerns? Seeing none, all those in favor of Article 22 signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Article 22 is adopted. I move the town vote to transfer $145,000 from water enterprise receipts for the purpose of refreshing and securing the Hanson Water Department's information technology systems under the oversight of the Hanson Information Technology Department. The funds are to be used for a computer replacement program, the installation of new municipal fiber connectivity linking the water department to the town's core data center, the migration of the water department data back to the town's data center, making improvements to the water billing system, enhancements to data security, implementation of modern network best practices, and the purchase of any related software, hardware, professional services, and equipment necessary to complete the project. Seconded. The Hanson Water Department relies on technology systems are in need of replacement and not fully integrated with the town's centralized IT infrastructure. This article funds a coordinated technology refresh to bring the water department under the management and security standards of the Hanson Information Technology Department. Any questions or concerns? Seeing none, all those in favor of Article 23 signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Article 23 is adopted. I move the town vote to appropriate or reserve from fiscal year 2027 Community Preservation Fund estimated annual revenues in the amounts recommended by the Community Preservation Committee for committee administrative expenses, community preservation projects, and other expenses in fiscal year 2027, with each item to be considered a separate appropriation as printed in the informational warrant. Seconded. This article ensures that Hanson's community preservation accounts are compliant with the Community Preservation Act, which requires that a certain portion of the CPA funds be set aside for open space projects, community housing projects, historical projects, and recreation projects. In addition, it sets aside money for the administrative expenses of the Community Preservation Committee. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor of Article 24 signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Article 24 is adopted. Article 25. I move to pass over Article 25. Seconded. All those in favor of passing over Article 25 signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Article 25 is passed over. Article 26. I move the town vote to appropriate and transfer $50,000 from the Community Preservation Undesignated Reserve to fund the creation of a playground at the Hancock Street Park location of the Monpont neighborhood of Hanson. These funds are requested by the Hanson Parks and Field Commission to build a playground at the Hancock Street Park location. Tables, benches, and bicycle racks will also be added to benefit all residents of the town. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor of Article 26 signify by saying aye. All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Article 26 is adopted. So I'm going to make a motion here, and then we're going to have a very brief presentation. Article 27. I move the town appropriate the sum of $7,500,000 for the financing of the demolition of the existing highway buildings and the final design, construction, and original furnishing and equipping of a new highway building and anything incidental and related thereto on the parcel of land located on map 71, lot 11A of the assessor's maps of the town of Hanson, containing 6.1 acres of land, and more specifically defined as 797 Indian Head Street in said town, to renovate and update the former police station located at 795 Indian Head Street that will house the highway administrative offices and the IT department, and include a modular building within the highway complex that will house the Hanson Park and Fields Committee and other Hanson youth sports organizations in said town, and to authorize the Select Board to accept on behalf of the town any federal or state financial assistance available for the projects, which shall be used to reduce the borrowing pursuant to this vote, to authorize the town administrator and the Select Board to enter into agreements and to take all actions necessary or convenient to effectuate the purposes of this vote, and to authorize the Select Board, with the advice of the Highway Building Committee, to carry out the respective projects and to meet this appropriation. The Treasurer, with the approval of the Select Board, is authorized to borrow the sum of $7,500,000 pursuant to the provisions of Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 44, Section 7, as amended, or any other enabling authority, and to issue any bonds or notes therefore, provided, however, that this vote shall not take effect until the town votes to exempt from the limitations on total taxes imposed by Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 59, Section 21C, Proposition 2.5, so-called, the amounts required to pay the principal of and interest on the borrowing authorized by this vote. Seconded. The official explanation is funding will be used for the demolition, final designs, construction, and original furnishings of a new highway building, renovations and updating the former police station, and to construct a modular building to house the Parks and Fields Committee and the Hanson Youth Sports Organizations. And when we take a vote on this, it will require a 2/3 majority. But does anybody have questions or comments? But first, I'd like to hear from the Highway Department, I believe. Yeah. Do I? It's the roof. Oh, really? It's the roof. We don't have that money.
Is there any way we can dim the lights a little bit? Dim the lights just a little bit? Can everybody see the screen? Is there any way we can dim the lights? Lisa Green. Thank you all for coming out tonight. Okay, can everybody hear me? Town Administrator Lisa Green, thank everybody for coming out to town meeting tonight. We're going to give a real quick presentation on the highway building facility project. And I'm going to introduce Richard Jasmine, our highway director.
How are you? Like Lisa said, Richard Jasmine, the new director at the Hanson Highway Department. I'm speaking on behalf of the Select Board and the Hanson Highway Building Committee tonight. We'll try to go as quick as we can. I'm going to kind of break down what we have for our facilities now and what we plan to do if everything goes accordingly. So this first slide, it's just a list of things that we do. A lot of it goes unnoticed, but there is more that goes on at the Highway Department than I believe some people think. The existing site, like Waller's described, 6.1 acres. We're currently on about 2.5 of that. We have 4 buildings, our main offices, a garage, a storage shed, as well as a small metal building in the back. Our administrative building, office space is cramped, poorly lit, with little area for storage such as files and plans. Proximity to the existing garage bays allows for infiltration of vehicles exhaust into the office area. Moving on that, our break room is right off of that area as well. We are not OSHA standards at this point. Moving into our garage space for that front white building, the existing garage bay doors are limited in height. Larger dump trucks cannot be stored within the building. Anything with a CDL license requirement will not fit in this side of the building. Insufficient heating, garage bays, there's leaks across every roof we have, including this one. The roof on this building is in disrepair and no matter what needs to be completely removed and replaced. Is that done? Moving out back to our garage, smaller building, we can only fit 3 vehicles in there at a time. With the size difference in our CDL trucks, that space is cramped. You can notice on the right vehicle, we're pretty much nosed in. The garage door cannot shut with these vehicles in there. Current overhead doors, like it says, do not enlarge for larger trucks. This means, again, lengthwise as well as height. We cannot lift these trucks or the bodies to do service work indoors. A few more of our garage photos. The lift on the left only can handle vehicles about a Ford 250 or lower. We cannot put anything larger on this lift. The photo on the right is our storage space. Storage is cramped, which becomes cluttered, which becomes unorganized, unfortunately. All right. This is our salt shed. Currently in disrepair. You're looking at the right photo is the west wall. That wall is completely rotted out and will need to be replaced. The east wall was just replaced by my staff about 3 years ago. Superficial, not structural replacement, so there are still some bad things going on in there. You will also notice, so you can't notice in these pictures, but our rafters have taken damage that support the roof on top of thousands of dollars of damage due to the snowstorm we had. This is our final storage shelter. Several damaged and missing panels. Extensive corrosion exists on many of the posts in the ground, which you will see in the next slide. So the picture on the left is pretty telling here. You can notice it looks kind of like an S. You can see daylight through that supporting beam. That means that the building has shifted back and is starting to slowly fall. Inside this building, we house any kind of equipment on trailers, such as our chipper box, hot box, things like that. We try to keep everything out of the weather as best we can. am I on the PD? Sorry. Yep. No. Now we're going into kind of transitioning into proposals here. This is the former police station in front of our facility. The former police station will be renovated into the Highway Department offices. Building would also contain a conference room and emergency center for storm events, would reuse utilized space and reduce new building costs. Right now, if you can see in the picture on the right, we do use the lower level as our landscaping garage. These are additional pictures from the former police station. The footprint of the building itself is not going to change drastically. We're trying to reduce cost as much as we can. The photo on the right is, if you've ever been to the old police station 20 some odd years ago, is the entrance. We would refreshen this. This would be residences, your sole go-to for any issues that you have for our department. This is the proposed site plan for our new building. It's going to be a new 72 by 200 square foot building, about 14,400 square feet. The large rectangle up there. To your right is the existing police station that will become our offices and admin building for you to visit. The back would be a brand new salt shed. The salt shed is going to be able to hold roughly the same amount of salt, 1,200 tons. Depending on how we stack it, we could get more. As well as adding facilities for the Recs department, which I don't know if you can see it. It's that long rectangle right there. So it's going to be on the other side of the fence. We don't plan on kicking them out in the cold. There is a contingency plan to move them into their own new facility with indoor plumbing, heating, and air conditioning. So how nice of us. These pictures are the proposed highway garage. This is the big 72 by 200 square foot building. The town of Marion, this is their new building. They just put it up. We are essentially taking their plans. They were gracious enough to give them to us, save us money in engineering. Again, you can see the large bay doors in the left picture. That front corner will house new break rooms and shower facilities for our guys. All needs to be, because it needs to be OSHA approved, that is the standard now, as well as large pull-through bays. Every door you see will be a pull-through to the other side of this building. The next two pictures are the inside of the garage. So we don't have pictures of the break room area. It's a generic break room, nothing fancy. We know we're strapped for funding here. But if you're looking at the right, this would be a 4-bay garage. 2 doors, pull through, large enough to fit fire apparatus, I believe. I don't know the exact length of Chief O'Brien's ladder truck, but this will be able to house anything that needs to be fixed. If Robbie needs a place to look at it, he can use our building now. The photo on the right is, am I right? Yeah, is sorry, wrong way. This is garage, this is cold storage. The cold storage area is more than half of the building. We will have an oil recycler heating system in there. It will be essentially cold storage. We don't have to heat this building up to 70 degrees. This will stay about 45 to 50 degrees, warm enough so it won't affect our vehicles, but we will use reused oil to heat this. Next slide is the new proposed salt shed, giant white marshmallow. It's more economic. It's a polyester material. You can kind of plug and play. So if we take damage during a storm, I can take a piece off, put a piece in. I don't need to ask you for money to rebuild the whole thing. 56 by 80 will hold the same amount of salt storage we have. So this is the most important slide, I think. And Eric's under there. He'll cut me off if I'm starting to say some wrong things here. But this is how it affects the residents. So essentially, we're going into debt exclusion. The police department is coming off of the books. We're going to be jumping into that slot. So what this is saying is, Every year, instead of $465,000 as a mortgage, it's going to jump to $525,000. If you look at the blue bubble here, $10 to $20, depending on how your home is assessed. So we are looking at an increase in about $10 to $20 per year. I don't know, does Eric, you know what I'm saying? That's right. I nailed it. Okay, all right. Okay, so there is an increase, again, $10 to $20 per year, divided by 12 is a dollar or two more. You'll see your bill go up. That's for our project specific. And then conclusions, current site located within the geographical center of town. It's approximately 2 miles from any town border. Allows for quick access response times in emergency situations. Relocation of highway personnel to a larger office space of the former police station will improve administration capabilities and public interaction. The construction and new garage shop will allow for vital storage of expensive equipment and vehicles which are currently stored out in the weather. The proposed renovations and conclusions would vastly improve the site to many years while maintaining cost. I think that's the last slide, right? Oh no, we have one more. So there is websites, there are YouTube tours. If you wanted to go on YouTube, you be graced with my presence again, giving you a tour of our facility. The big thing is we have $250,000 trucks that are getting more expensive, about $350,000. They sit outside every year. Towns can do this. If we could mitigate that, we can expand the life expectancy of our vehicles. I would hate to come up here every year and ask for an additional $350,000 for a new truck. I think that's it. All right, thank you.
Hold on, all right, everyone. So that was a lot of information, but are there any questions or comments? Seeing none. Oh, yes, Mr. Bouvet, come on down to the microphone.
Dave Bouvet from 149 Home Street. Question for the DPW director here.
Steve. You have a question?
First of all, I want to compliment you on all the good planning work that went into that.
I appreciate you.
And I believe it's a necessary expenditure. Regarding the roof situation you mentioned in your proposal and the article that follows, are you proposing replacing the roof membrane on the existing Public Works building and then pulling it down and replacing it?
No. So there's two things moving at once here. If this gets approved to go to the ballot, we would still need that security blanket. So if it fails at the ballot, no matter what, that roof needs to be replaced. If it's approved at the ballot, we're not touching the building. It's coming down. Why put that kind of money into it? It's more of a contingency plan if things don't go
Understood.
accordingly.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Rick Larson, Winter Street. Are we planning on completely gutting that place and all new buildings except for the past police station?
Correct. Yep.
Okay.
The whole site from PD is going to be leveled.
And you did mention in the cold storage, you're going to have a waste oil burner?
Yes, sir.
Okay, because right now, we do not recycle oil at the transfer station. It would be nice if we could adopt bringing our used motor oil to the highway facility, and you guys can burn it
I see what you're
for
saying.
your money.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I can't speak on behalf of Gil, but we plan on using our reused oil for now to heat it, but that is absolutely an option that we could look at in the future.
And I do believe these buildings are in bad shape and gotta get replaced.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's amazing, you know, the salt shed is standing, because salt corrodes metal.
Any other questions or concerns? Seeing none. All those in favor of Article 27, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it by the required two-thirds vote. Article 27 is adopted. Article 28, I have a motion to pass over Article 28. Oh. One moment, please.
I completely understand, but that's what we said. There's no money. You can't approve it. No, there's no money. There's no fund. No, there's not.
Aaron.
We'll have to go back and.
Why don't I pass this over or table it for now? That sounds great. And then you guys figure it out. Okay. I'm going to make a motion to table Article 28 until a later time. We'll take it up at that point. Seconded. All those in favor of tabling Article 28 signify by saying aye. All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Article 28 is tabled. Article 29, I move the town vote to transfer from free cash $25,000 for grading private gravel roads. Seconded. This will provide funding and authorize the annual grading of all private gravel roads in the town of Hanson up to 2 times a year. These funds will be used to provide for purchasing any material and to properly pitch and grade the roads to the proper elevations and compact the material, which will help stabilize these roads. These funds are required for this purpose, as well as to fill potholes with suitable material between the grading cycles as necessary for public safety and emergency access. Any questions or concerns?
I just want to know about the one no vote on the FinCom.
Kevin, do you have commentary on the gravel roads?
As far as, what was your question? I'm sorry.
There's 3-1 on FinCom. What do you voted no on? I'm just curious why.
Someone didn't want to pay to have the gravel roads.
Oh, I didn't know if it was something more. Okay.
All right, we're going to try and keep to the microphones in the future.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's quite all right. All right, so any other questions or concerns about Article 29?
This gentleman down here.
Oh, could you come to the microphone, please, sir?
How you doing? John Olson, 252 Lakeside Road. They voted on this years ago to maintain the roads, grade the roads, but the definition of grading and plow, has been totally different. At one point, the town lost its access to a grader, and instead of grading the roads, they brought the loader down and they dumped 12 inches or better of gravel, on 3-inch stones and whatever. Since then, we've elevated the roadway to all the properties down there. The base is terrible. We got potholes all the time because the water doesn't drain properly and whatever. So hearing you talk and say, they're going to bring in new material and things like that and do a proper grading. Grading is a specific process, okay? Plowing and leveling and, just taking a scraper and going over it is not grading, okay? So the grading companies that are hired to do that are going to be held to those standards. There is a state Massachusetts standard for doing grading processes on the roads. Are they going to stick to that? And if so, is it going to be in writing?
Could we hear from the Highway Department on that, please? And you thought you were done.
How are you? Richard Jasmine, Highway Director. We're trying to stay to those standards. We just, that this money is pretty much for maintenance. Fill potholes, we have to do it up to 2 times a year.
Right.
I know on Lakeside we did try to cut it, but we are staying to those standards as best we can.
Yeah.
It's
Well, my thing has always been that for the amount of times they come down there and dump stuff on the roads and they, say they grade it and whatever, if we go back to when the residents down there had trouble, I'm talking 20 plus years ago, okay? We could have paved that road in gold, You know what I mean? Because it's not cheap, you know.
Yeah,
You bring down a crew down there, your
Right.
trucks and people, you know, it's got to be at least $3,000 to $4,000, you know what I mean?
Right.
Every trip.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
times 2 or 3 times a year.
Right.
That's more than the budget was allowed. Recently, it was what, $15,000?
It was, yes. Yep, yeah.
So you see what I'm saying is, we gotta set a standard and stick to it. Either we're gonna do a proper grading and use, and another thing too, is the material that's been dropped there, you know, that raised it up above everybody's properties, a good 12 inches, okay, is no good. It's not a good base for a graded road, and everybody knows it. It's gotta be removed. So as easily as you dumped it and rolled it out with a loader, you can easily go down there with a loader and pile it up in a truck and get rid of it, so that they can put the new stuff down and do it right, do it
Terrific. And you guys can discuss this at the brand-new highway department.
right. Well, I hope it doesn't take that long.
All righty. Any other questions or concerns on Article 29? Seeing none. All those in favor of Article 29 signify by saying aye. All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Article 29 is adopted. Okay. Article 30. I move to pass over Article 30. Seconded. All those in favor of passing over Article 30 signify by saying aye. All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Article 30 is passed over. Article 31. I move the town vote to designate a 5-acre parcel of land being a portion of map 71, lot 14A of the assessor's maps of the town of Hanson, and containing 17.8 acres at 60 School Street for the purposes of the future location of a fire department headquarters and senior center. Site map is printed in the informational warrant. Seconded. Explanation. A fire station feasibility study was completed in 2024. In the study, it would cost $3 million more to stay at the Liberty Street site, which is also confined by wetland restrictions. This will allow for the possible future construction of a fire station senior center on the McQuon property. Any questions or concerns? Seeing none. All those in favor of Article 31 signify by saying aye. All those opposed, nay. Nay. The ayes have it. Article 31 is adopted. Article 32. I move that the town appropriate the sum of $33,041,881 to expand and renovate the Hanson Public Library located at 132 McQuon Street, Hanson, Mass. 02341. Including any portions of the adjacent senior center as may be required, and including but not limited to design and architectural and engineering services and other legal and professional services, construction, renovation and expansion, landscaping, paving, utility and other site improvements, furnishing and equipping, and any incidental and related costs. And further, to meet this appropriation, the treasurer, with the approval of the select board, is authorized to borrow said amount under and pursuant to the provisions of Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 44, Section 7, or any other enabling authority, and to issue any bonds or notes therefore, provided that any borrowing hereunder shall be contingent upon passage of a Proposition 2.5 debt exclusion ballot question vote pursuant to the provisions of Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 59, Section 21C. Said funds to be expended under the direction of the library trustees and/or library building committee, and further to authorize the select board and/or library trustees to accept and expend any forms of financial assistance that may be available to the town on account of this project, including Massachusetts Public Library Construction Program grant funds, which amounts received shall reduce the amount to be borrowed by a like amount, and further, to authorize the select board and/or library trustees to enter into all agreements and execute any and all documents as may be necessary on behalf of the town to effectuate the project. Seconded. And I would just note that in your informational warrant, there's an explanation on page 30 that should be under Article 34. That's if you're reading about batteries with the library, don't do that. Oh, okay. So the explanation is, this article appropriates funds for the Hanson Public Library expansion renovation project, authorizes the town to accept and expend state grant funds for the project, and also authorizes the steps necessary for the construction phase. And this requires a 2/3 majority vote. So first, we have a couple of people to speak from the library. So we're going to start with you, Karen. If you could just introduce yourself, please.
Hi, I'm Karen Stolford, the library director. We don't have a PowerPoint presentation, but we do have a handout if people could refer to that. So as I said, I'm the director of the Hanson Public Library. I'm here tonight to share why the library building project addresses critical current and future needs of the library. The Hanson Public Library is one of the most actively used public spaces in this community. Every day we serve children, teens, families, job seekers, and seniors. But the building we are asking them to use was built in 1990, and even then the state determined it was too small to meet Hanson's needs. This determination was made by the Massachusetts Board of Library Commissioners at the time of construction, based on required projections for future growth. That means the building was not designed to meet long-term needs, and we are now more than 15 years beyond the point when it was expected to fall short. This is not a new conversation. This work began in 2018, over 7 years ago. Since then, we have completed a library building program in 2024, conducted extensive community engagement and public input sessions, and completed a full facility conditions assessment. The assessment makes it very clear. The building does not meet modern library standards and requires significant repair, upgrade, and expansion. It also confirms that many of the building systems, electrical, HVAC, and layout, are original to 1990 and no longer support how libraries are used today. We then entered the Massachusetts Public Library Construction Program, a highly competitive multi-year process. After months of work, Hanson was awarded a $100,000 planning and design grant, supplemented by $150,000 in private funding. It was also ranked as the #1 most deserving among mid-sized libraries in the entire state as part of the application process. That ranking is not symbolic. It reflects the strength of the planning, the quality of the application, and the level of community support demonstrated throughout this process. That ranking is what allows us to access approximately $12.5 million in state funding for this project. The total project cost is approximately $33 million. That covers the renovation, which includes the senior center, and the expansion. The estimated cost to the average household ranges from approximately 50 cents to $1 per day, and importantly, that impact doesn't begin until FY29. It's important to be clear about the state funds of $12.5 million and the timing of this project. If we do not move forward now, we lose the $12.5 million. This opportunity will not come back for another 5 to 10 years, and we are left with ongoing maintenance and capital needs of the library and senior center. Article 32 is a step that allows this project to move forward to town election so that all residents can participate in this very important decision. This is a rare opportunity to solve long-standing problems with substantial state support. Thank you.
Could I just ask a favor? Could you turn off the projector that was used? Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Hi, my name is Corrine Cavato. I live at 73 Winslow Drive. I am chair of the library trustees and the library building committee. I'm also vice chair of the capital improvement committee. I'm asking you tonight to support Article 32. This project represents over 7 years of careful, deliberate work. We began in 2018 with the recognition that the building could no longer meet the needs of the town. From there, we conducted a feasibility study and a planning study. We engaged the community through surveys, forums, and public meetings. We developed the 2024 library building program based directly on that input. Residents told us clearly and consistently across every forum and survey, the children's space is too small. There is not enough room for programs or meetings. The building is not accessible. The infrastructure is outdated. We then hired an owner's project manager and professional architects to evaluate all options: renovation, expansion, and new construction. New construction was evaluated carefully, but renovation and expansion allows us to reuse existing infrastructure, reduce cost, and remain in a location that residents already use and value. It also takes into consideration the senior center that shares the building and allows for added space and renovations of that space. At every step, the trustees and the building committee have focused on fiscal responsibility, efficiency, meeting real community needs. But we also need to be honest about something. And in anticipation of this opportunity to secure state funding, many necessary repairs to the building have been deferred. The facilities condition assessment of May 2024 outlines serious issues: roof and water infiltration, failing building systems, accessibility deficiencies, structural and infrastructure concerns. These findings were professionally documented and reflect what the staff and residents experience every day. If this project does not move forward, those costs do not go away. They become the town's responsibility without state funding. That means Hanson will still be facing millions of dollars in repairs with no outside assistance. It's not a choice between spending and not spending. It's a choice between leveraging state funding now or pay more later. We've done the work, we've evaluated all the options, we've brought forward a responsible plan. We respectfully ask you to support Article 32. Thank you.
Ms. Santalucia.
Hi, my name is Teresa Santalucia. I live at 517 West Washington Street. I'm on the Board of Trustees and the Building Committee for the library, but today I'm here as the president of the Hanson Public Library Foundation. The Hanson Public Library Foundation is a 501c3 nonprofit that has supported the library for over 20 years. We have approximately 150 members, and our mission is to enhance library services through fundraising, programming, and direct support to our community. We recognize that this is a significant financial decision for the town, and that Hanson is balancing many important needs. At the same time, it is important to understand what makes this project distinct. This is the only project on the warrant that has already secured both substantial state funding and meaningful private financial support. To date, no town funds have been used for the feasibility and design program. The foundation has contributed over $60,000 of private funds to the architectural, engineering, and environmental work. And we currently have $300,000 committed towards this project if it moves forward. Also, if this project moves forward, the board has decided that our next step will be a capital campaign to raise additional funds to help offset this cost of the town. We're very committed to that. This proposal reflects years of commitment from residents who have supported the library through fundraising, volunteering, and participating in programs. It is not simply a town effort. It's a partnership between this town, the state, and the community. The foundation is committed to being part of the solution. The foundation understands the financial pressures facing Hanson, and that's exactly why we are willing to invest our time, our energy, and private resources to help reduce the burden and support this project. The board of the foundation has unanimously supported this project, and we appreciate your consideration for this important investment in our community.
Thank you.
I'm Pat Vale, 174 Whitman Street. I'm a member of the Library Building Committee. This project is not theoretical. It is not speculative. It is a result of years of community input, professional analysis, careful financial consideration, and thoughtful design. These priorities were not decided in isolation. The Library Building Committee has worked diligently for 6 months with our professional partners to bring you the most cost-efficient project for consideration. The design reflects what Hanson residents asked for. Aside from expanding children and teen spaces, we are also providing new resources such as quiet study and workrooms, a dedicated local history resource area, a flexible 120-seat community space, and an outdoor area to be used for multiple purposes. The multi-purpose focus matters. Hanson does not have a true community center. This project provides a space that can be used by the whole community, including town boards and committees, local organizations, residents for events and gatherings. That kind of shared space does not currently exist in Hanson, and this project provides it in a practical and cost-efficient way. We also made sure that this project improves shared systems that benefit both the library and the senior center without expanding beyond what is necessary. While the grant does not fund senior center expansion, our program includes necessary upgrades to shared systems to ensure functionality and the code compliance so that the senior center will benefit as well. Every decision was made with one question in mind: what is the most responsible way to serve Hanson now and in the future? And that is the plan. I do have one last thing, just a note of clarification. Earlier in the meeting, someone spoke and said that if their project is funded, that they will slide into the debt exclusion gap left by the police station going out. That is inaccurate. Any of these things that are being funded through debt exclusions and so forth will share in the outgoing debt bond issues. Thank you.
Ms. Kemet.
I just want to clarify that, in fact, what Mr. Jasmine was saying reflects the will of the Select Board. We were very intentional in picking this year for the year that we were requesting that voters take a look at the highway facility. And the reason that we waited until this year was because we knew that this debt exclusion was coming off of the books. So in a way, I guess you could say that it's really, you know, I don't know, whatever, in the ether. But I want to be clear that FinCom and the Select Board supported this project because we were very intentional about the timing for it. If it had been in another year, we probably would have said, let's wait or whatever, but it is inextricably linked to the fact that we have this borrowing that's coming off of the books, because the intention was, we know that this need is deep for the highway building, and we don't want to add to the tax burden of taxpayers. So I just wanted to add that clarification that Mr. Jasmine didn't really drill down on.
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, I'm Audrey Miller. I live at East Washington Street. I have a 21-year-old daughter and I have 13-year-old twins, and I attend the library frequently. I don't want to just call it the library because it truly has become, in this town, which doesn't have a community center, doesn't have something for our youth, has become a wonderful resource for kids to go to. You know, you all see them running through the streets. Hanson does not have a lot to offer, and the library has done an amazing job at supporting our youth. And although they are not here to represent themselves, I am telling you, if you say that the library is not busy, go after school, go on a half day, go when they have the events that they have there. It is so vital for our community to have something like this and to continue to grow and to be able to offer things. There's a middle school room and it's always got kids in it, and it's only got a space for a small amount. I've done programming here, and if you aren't going to programming here, it's because you don't realize what's there. And as our seniors who are facing tech challenges, you can sign up for a time to go and learn things. They'll sit down with you. It's not just a library full of books. This is a center for our community, and we can all use it. And we need it. Like, this town doesn't have much to build around. Like, we are separated. And, you know, you look at other towns and they all come together in a place. Like, I see this map. This is an area that we can start to build on. Maybe there will be a fire department there. Maybe there will be a senior center there that's larger. We got the library. We got the playground. Let's build something here. Let's form a community that's been kind of lacking. But my children really use this, and a lot of seniors use this. And I think you just need to, I've heard people say that it's not busy, or there's, you know, who needs books? No, this is part of our community, and we need to continue to see it grow and support this wonderful job that our foundation has done and such. Okay, so that was shot from the hip, but we really need this. We really do.
Yes, ma'am.
Hello, I'm Marianne Damasio, 552 Indian Head Street. And, you know, Hanson is ranked #1 on the state library grant funding list due to a mismatch between the size of the library and the population of the town. So when my children were younger, they're 25 and 30, there might have been 15 or 20 people at the story hours. That has doubled and tripled, and to the extent that there are sometimes 75 children, parents, caregivers, grandparents at a space that is too small for that size. And if you've ever seen the teen room, it's not much bigger than a walk-in closet, and you really, it just doesn't have enough space to hold the teens that are coming at all these times. And finally, I just wanted to say, some people have said that libraries are dying, they're just for books, and I'd just like to say a few things about the services that can save us money, time, and resources. So if you want to go, if you need a notary, you can have a free signing by a notary. You can go for science or children's museum, zoo. You can get passes for a ferry to Boston when it's when it's a place to go when it's too hot in the summer or electricity is out in the winter. It's a place to go. Parents who want their children to have a game, a jigsaw puzzle, a movie to watch. You can go there when you need the internet, when you want printing, if you want to get a Chromebook or computer lessons, for seniors especially. And with the library of things, it's a place to go when you need a sewing machine, a paper shredder, metal detector, many other things. And if you're homebound, they'll deliver to you. So I hope that we're able to continue this trend of having enough room and space for all these needs that we have in the town. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, my name is Mari San Lucia, 517 West Washington Street. I am a current senior at the Whitman Hanson High School, and for years the library has been a very important place to me. Even at a young age, I look forward to library trips every week. Currently, there's not enough space at the library. The library is one of the few places in town where people of all ages, specifically teens and the younger generation, can go for a safe and welcoming space. However, these days, it is just way too overcrowded. I volunteer at the library, I check out books every week, and I see more and more kids coming every week. I have a younger brother who attends these half-day hangout programs there, and when I pick him up, I see kids coming in and out, running in the library and in this teen room, and there's just not enough space to hold all of them. On one hand, this shows how many people truly value the library and value the community it creates and how it is such a safe space for the younger generation of Hanson. But on the other hand, this shows that there's truly not enough space. And this project would give the younger generation of Hanson and everyone else a space that is large enough to hold all of us and to encourage learning and connection in the younger generation. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Alex Stewart, 671 Liberty Street. Growing up, the library has been a pivotal place for me. Like, any field trips we had, I was always excited to go there. When I came into high school, I would go there to do my homework, and when I came back from college, like, that was my go-to hangout spot. And over time, I've seen how the library acts as the closest Hanson has to a community center. And I'm standing here today in support of Article 32 because it will just increase that place that the library has with our community. And to pair it off, reflect off what Ms. Santalucia spoke about with the generations, I have two nephews who will be coming into the town, and I want them to know the same wonders and joy that can come from the library, and encourage many others to do the same. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Rick Lawson, Winter Street. Earlier you mentioned a senior center and a fire station, and now this project is going to be what, a library and a senior center?
I think the
combination?
The nature of the previous warrant article was very speculative. It was just setting aside some space. So those plans haven't been made, correct, Chief? Correct. Yeah, so as far as this article goes, I mean, there may be some alterations to the senior center as a result of this construction.
All right. This 33 million is a big nut to swallow for the town, too. Big project. So, I mean, we're going to have a vote with the cards, correct? On something like this?
Depending on how the,
Are we just going to go by ayes and nays?
if it's very close, then we'll definitely take a hand count.
Okay.
It has to pass by a 2/3 vote. So, I mean, if it's clearly 2/3, then I'll declare it, but we can always go to a hand count. Yes, sir.
Okay.
We haven't finished our presentation. I think we should be given the courtesy to finish our presentation.
Oh.
And then if anyone would like to get up and ask a question or make a comment, we'd be happy to listen to them.
Oh, I was under the impression that 4 people were going to speak. Mr.
Hi, Nick Donahue, 552 Indian Head Street. Glad to be here. I'm speaking in support of the article. And the first thing I'd like to do is to thank the library staff and foundation for 20 years of benefits to my own children, their friends, our neighbors and families, educationally and socially. Thanks for your patience and expertise. And it's just a great place to go. You know, there's a reason why the Greeks built the library in Alexandria, and there's a reason why Andrew Carnegie spent his millions on public libraries, small and large. They built our democracy, they built communities, they prioritize knowledge and understanding, and they're really important for countries like ours that are growing and asking ourselves a lot of questions. The good news is modernized libraries actually are a good investment. As my neighbor Marianne said, they save citizens thousands of dollars in not having to buy things because you can lend them instead. So if you don't have a leaf blower, maybe that's something you'll benefit from. They're built to serve young and old. They're built to adapt to changes with communities. Typically, visits increase enormously. This benefits businesses, taxes, and pass-through traffic. And whether it's South Hadley, Mass, Blanchard, or towns across Texas, various legitimate studies have shown that a dollar invested can bring $4 in return. It seems like a good investment. I'll close with these words. Someone said, libraries are where possibilities meet place. Ray Bradbury wrote Fahrenheit 451, ironically, said, libraries raised me. Someone who knew a lot said, the only thing you absolutely need to know is where is the location of the library. That was Albert Einstein, who knew a lot. And then there are these wise words, never argue with a librarian, they know too much. And I know this is true, having lost the annual library trivia fundraiser contest numerous times to the library team. So I end with these 2 requests. One is to the staff and foundation, like, could you give the rest of us a chance at the fundraiser this year in terms of the contest? And then we need to pass this article on so that we can continue to grow our community, modernize it, and do what's right for the future. Thank you.
Are you going to add anything new, sir?
Pat Vale, 174 Whitman Street. Just for your information, when we started this endeavor, the MBLC noted that Hanson is the neediest library in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts at this time for renovation and reconstruction.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Hi, Bill Clements, 501 High Street. My question is, I don't think there's anyone in this room that doesn't doubt we need a new library and all the hard effort and work that everyone's put into this. But the elephant in the room is, can this town financially handle that $20 million burden with the critical police, fire, the DPW falling down? The elephant in the room is, can we just had to pass over $8,000 in seal coating. How can we absorb $20 million, even though we're getting a grant? I mean, great work. But that's my concern, is how do we have critical, we need more fire, we need more police, these guys are overworked. The DPW, the salt building's falling down. How do we possibly come up with $20 million when we can't come up with $8,000 to seal coat? That's my concern.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Jim Flanagan, 43 Baker Street. I think I owe from 1982 for late fees for some library books I wrote. Real
You're
quick,
the
I just
reason
want
that we can't afford this.
Right, yeah. I just want to speak directly to something everyone's got on their mind, and it is cost. We all know that Hanson, like every town, is facing financial pressure right now. But this is exactly why this project makes economic sense to do it now. First, this is not a new idea. The project represents over 6 years of work and more than $250,000 in planning, studies, and design. It has been carefully vetted, reviewed, and refined. Second, this is the only project on the warrant with significant outside funding. If we do not move forward, we effectively turn down $12.5 million from the state of Mass. And we do not get another opportunity like this for another 5 to 10 years. Third, this project allows us to address real unavoidable costs. The library needs major repairs up to $8 million. The senior center shares systems that also need upgrades. These are expenses the town will face either way. The question is not whether we spend the money, the question is whether we do it. With $12 million in state support or on our own later at a higher cost. And finally, this is not an override. This is simply allows the project to go to town election as a debt exclusion. This means the people of the Hanson get to decide. And I would ask, shouldn't the town have the opportunity to vote on a project that impacts so many residents across all ages for decades to come? This is a responsible plan, this is a rare opportunity, and this is a decision worth putting to the voters. If you vote yes, I'll pay all of my back late fees on my books.
With interest, I hope. All right, seeing no other comments, all those in favor, again, this requires a 2/3 vote.
One more.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Okay. My name is Betty Ciccarelli. I live on Main Street. As a senior, I rely on the library for programs and information, educational workshops, visits from professionals who help us understand things like elder law. These programs matter and they are not easy to access. Expanding the library means expanding access to those resources. To many seniors, along with the rest of the community, the library represents a community. It is really the only community that Hanson has. It's a community of like-minded people with a staff who are always welcoming and helpful. It's a quiet respite from the stress of the outside world, to read the paper, to read a magazine. We have access to books and DVDs within the library network. They offer delivery and pickup to people who are homebound. It's a place to bring their grandchildren, to pass on their love of reading, learning, and curiosity. It's a place to escape the summer heat. There are so many things that they offer with book clubs, movie screenings, that's been said already. I got my first library card at the age of 6, and one of the first things I do whenever I move is to get a library card. I cannot picture life without easy access to a library. Please support this article.
All right, thank you. Again, this requires a
Sorry.
I
apologize.
Is it going to be something new? Yes, ma'am.
Just want to hear the Finance Committee, how they voted, why they voted, what they did. And secondly, if the debt exclusion for the Highway Department goes through at the vote, is there room for another debt exclusion for the library? Is it one or the other? I was a little unclear on that.
Mr. Sullivan.
Sure, so we took a look at the overall library project and we voted not to recommend it. With the multiple, we'll say, needs that the town has, this is more of a nice to have, right? I understand.
Please let Mr. Sullivan finish.
Listen, I understand the other side of it. We had to use almost $2 million in free cash to balance our budget. That's gonna get progressively worse next year. You're looking at $2 to $3 million in deficit. The only way we overcome that deficit, and Laura's gonna throw something at me, is through an override. So we're gonna add an override to this next year because we do not have the funds. We are not bringing in the revenue, and every year it gets progressively worse. So unfortunately, we felt it wasn't wise to support the library right now. The highway department building is falling down. That has to be replaced. So we thought, when we looked at it, we thought, we understand the argument, and I understand people are passionate about it, but this is a financial decision.
Mr. Bouvet.
Sorry, what about the debt?
Oh, I'm sorry. Do you have?
Well, what about the debt exclusion on my question?
You can do more than one.
Home Street. With appreciation and respect for all the good work that has gone into this program of redeveloping the library, and as the son of a librarian, I do think that the town needs to put the resources behind maintaining the existing library, addressing the infrastructure issues that exist, and waiting for a better financial day to move ahead with an expansion. If core systems in the library need attention, HVAC, Wi-Fi, electrical, the roof, I thought we replaced the roof already. If the roof is leaking, let's get to the core reason as to why that's happening. If there's an accountability issue with a contractor, let's address that. But there are higher priorities in this town that we urgently need to address. And I think the town, the DPW and the public safety folks have done a great job of presenting that. Keep programming the library. Keep working. Let's find a better day.
Ms. Santalucia.
Teresa Santa Lucia, 517 West Washington. I just want to highlight the fact that we have done a facilities conditions assessment. We've put that in your packet. We have about $8 million of repairs. The trustees have specifically not come to the town over the last couple of years to ask for those repairs done because we were in this multi-year approach to a renovation and expansion. We can spend the $8 million on renovating the building we have now. It has been proven over and over and over again that the building does not meet the needs of this community. It is too small. So we can put $8 million into the building to get it up to code, to get it ADA compliant, to fix the HVAC, but we still are not fixing the fact that there's just not enough space. I had someone contact me today on Facebook to say that they moved into town last year and they have children and they were really excited to come to some of the children's programming, and they stopped coming because it was so crowded, there was no place to sit down or enter. So we are not meeting the needs of this by just fixing the capital needs improvements. I just want that to be clear.
Thank you. And perhaps the last word?
Hi, my name is Julie Devereaux. I live at 104 Glenwood Place. Hello, Mary Collins. I utilized the senior center when I first moved to Hanson in 2016. I went to the library pretty quickly. I use the library a lot to make copies and, do for free, not for free, but a very small amount of money to make a copy or something. And one of the things I noticed about Hanson that I love about Hanson is it's a really small town. Rockland has lots and lots of businesses, and Whitman has businesses, but Hanson just has Shaw's, and you just kind of drive through us. So I moved here in 2016, and I really love that about the town. But I feel like we need some kind of big place, big company to help us with taxes, because I would love if a Wegmans moved in down in Hanson, although the traffic would be not good. But I'm wondering, does anybody have any idea how much our taxes will go up annually if this, this is just going to bring it to vote, right? This gets it on the ballot.
This gets it on the ballot.
So then if the community votes yes for this newer library or added to library, which I would appreciate, but I'm just wondering how much my taxes are going to go up a year. Does anybody have any idea?
I believe they have that number. Yeah, and
Yes.
right after Karen answers this question.
In the chart, if you look, we gave a range because there was so many different factors, depending on the length of the borrowing, the type of borrowing, and potentially some of the debt rolling off. So the range is 193 to 392, and I can give you specific. Right, if that was a 20-year bond with level payments and not assuming none of the debt rolling off is. Right, 2029, because the way the grant works is that we actually get 2 payments up front in the first half of the project, and then the latter half of the project is reimbursable, but at the beginning we get immediate funds to use, so we can postpone the impact.
Thank you. Mr. Weeks. We have a motion to move the vote. This requires a 2/3 vote. All those in favor of Article 28 signify by saying, oh, I'm sorry. Nope. All those in favor of Article 32 signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. Nay. In the opinion of the chair, there's a 2/3 vote in favor. Would anybody like to make a motion to take a hand count? We have a motion to make a hand count. All those in favor of Article 32, please signify by raising your blue card. Please don't lower it until it's been counted.
How do those people in the visitor section have blue cards?
Because there's less room. I'm allowing it, Kevin. 48, Mr. Moderator. 48. 47. 82. All those opposed, please signify by holding up your blue card at this time. $13, 26, 26, so the vote is 177 in favor, 65 opposed. Now I need somebody to do some math. Because I don't do math after 8:30 at night. So by the 2/3 vote? It passed. I've been told by town council who does do math after 8:30, it passes by the required 2/3 vote. Article 32 is passed. Now, we're returning to the tabled Article 28. And I move to pass over Article 28. Seconded. Any questions or concerns? Seeing none. All those in favor of passing over Article 28 signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Article 28 is passed over. Article 33. I move the town vote to authorize the Board of Library Trustees to utilize a portion of the former McQuon School property, map 71, lot 14A, containing approximately 3 acres of land area necessary to accommodate the proposed library project as identified and shown in the 2023-2024 Massachusetts Public Library Construction Program Level of Design application. The final property line configuration shall be based upon town-approved design plans. The Board of Library Trustees shall hold and use the land for the purposes of constructing an addition to and operating a library building, and further should be proposed library project not receive required approvals, that said land shall be held for a period of not more than 10 years from the date of the approval decision for the purposes of constructing and operating a library building. Site plan as presented in the informational warrant. Seconded. Explanation, this article commits a portion of the former McQuon School property to be used by the library for the renovation and expansion project submitted for the Massachusetts Public Library Construction Program of 2023-2024 grant round. If the project does not receive approval or funding at town meeting or the town election, the land would be set aside for a period of not more than 10 years from the date of non-approval for the purposes of building a public library at the next opportunity. Any questions or concerns? Seeing none. All those in favor of Article 33 signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. I believe the ayes have it. We only needed a majority vote. Anybody want to challenge and have a hand count? Seeing none. Article 33 is adopted. Article 34. I move the town vote to amend the Town of Hanson zoning bylaws by updating Section 2, definitions, Section 6, use regulations, and Section 7, development of sites and location of buildings and structures to ensure compliance with the Massachusetts Department of Energy Resources guidance for battery energy storage systems, BESS, as printed in the informational warrant. Seconded. This article updates the existing BESS bylaw to incorporate Department of Energy Resources technical guidance and state-mandated safety standards for stationary energy storage systems. The amendments address fire suppression, thermal management, ventilation monitoring, emergency response, first responder drills, liability insurance, equipment certification, ongoing reporting, and decommissioning. The included district usage table clearly shows where Tier 1 and Tier 2 BESS are allowed and under what conditions. This requires a 2/3 majority vote. Any questions or concerns? Seeing none. All those in favor of Article 34 signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it by the required 2/3 majority. Article 34 is adopted. Article 35. I move the town vote to approve a proposed regional agreement amendment on file with the town clerk regarding the admission of the town of Pembroke. Seconded. Explanation. The South Shore Vocational High School is proposing an amendment to the regional agreement to include the admission of the town of Pembroke. Copies of the amendment are on file with the town clerk as presented in the informational warrant. Do we get to stick it to Pembroke right now? No. I'm totally kidding. It's Whitman I want to get. No. Any questions or concerns about Article 35? Seeing none, all those in favor of Article 35 signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Article 35 is adopted. Article 36, is there a motion? Could we get the microphone turned on over here? No, you're still not being heard, Mr. Campbell.
Yeah. Check, there we go.
Oh, there we go.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Joe Campbell, Woodbine Ave. Article 36, I move to see if the town will vote to place the property identified as 0 Hancock Street, Spatterford Ave, Assessors Map 2, Lot 4-3, into the care and custody of the Town of Hanson Conservation Commission for Open Space Protection under Article 97 of the Massachusetts Constitution, or take any other action relative thereto. The explanation, this parcel...
Hold on, Mr. Campbell.
Yes.
Do we have a second? Second. Thank you.
For an explanation, this parcel is to be dedicated today as the Monpont Reserve. Restores vital ecosystems, offering benefits like improved water quality, increased biodiversity, and enhanced flood protection. Converting this site allows for the restoration of natural, self-sustaining wetlands that store carbon, reduce nitrogen pollutions, and provide habitat for native wildlife. The parcel identified in the article is currently town-owned. Article 97 protection will ensure the resource area is protected for the foreseeable future. In regards to that motion, I also have an amendment to the motion. The amendment is going to be on file here in just a moment, is to include 8.2, 18.2 acres as listed on the town property card. So I need a second in regards to the amended motion.
Oh, I don't have the amendment in front of me.
I have it.
Come on.
I got to find it. It's in
Yeah,
all this. It's in all the trees.
Could you just give it to the clerk?
Like the Monpont.
Okay, so the amendment for Article 36. Oh. I move to amend the motion as follows, 18.2 acres. Where would you like that put into the motion?
At the very end. The original article lists the map to Lot 4-3, so there is reference already in there, so the 18.2 is just educational, I would think.
Okay, I'm not sure we need that, do we? Is the 18.2 acres a portion of that lot or the full lot?
It's the entirety of the full lot.
It's the entire full lot.
All of map 2, Lot 4-3.
In that case, we don't need to amend
I
the
rescind
motion.
my motion.
All right, so the motion is withdrawn. Any other questions or comments on Article 36? Seeing none, all those in favor of Article 36 signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Article 36 is adopted. Well, oh, I'm sorry. Hold on, everybody. Apparently, this needs a 2/3 vote. So, all those in favor of Article 36 signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it by the required 2/3 vote. Article 36 is adopted. Once again, just want to remind you about the election right here on May 16th, Saturday, from 10 to 5? 10 to 5. Look forward to seeing you then. Until then, I hereby adjourn this town meeting. Sine die.